Hi, my name is Josh Fraser. I'm the recruiter for Empire Airlines, which is a FedEx feeder or a regional airline for FedEx. It's a pleasure being here at UND today, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you today about what we do as a FedEx feeder and the Purple Runway program in your pursuit of a pilot position, eventually either with a feeder or with FedEx. So a little bit about Empire Airlines. So the company, as I mentioned, is a FedEx feeder. So there are 8 FedEx feeders or regional airlines for FedEx within the United States. We are essentially the outer tips of FedEx's spokes. So we service, Empire in particular has 16 bases. We service over 40 cities, moving FedEx overnight cargo and priority cargo. Our headquarters is located up in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, which is the panhandle of Idaho, but we cover the western half of the U.S., so we're the largest of the FedEx feeders. We cover the western half of the U.S. from the Dakotas down to Texas, all the way out to the Pacifics, up through the Pacific Northwest to Alaska. And so the company is actually fairly small. We've got 321 employees in 22 states. We operate both Part 121 and Part 135. Now, of those 15 operating bases, we have approximately roughly 1/3 are only ATRs, ATR 42s and ATR 72s, which are Part 121. Roughly 1/3 are Cessna Caravans, which are Part 135 operations, and about 1/3 of our bases are both ATR 42s and, or rather ATRs and Caravans, so both 135 and 121. We have a total of about 113 pilots on staff within our company. The aircraft that we fly include like I said, the Cessna Caravan. It's a single-engine turboprop aircraft. And then we've got the ATR 42 and ATR 72. So the aircraft depicted there is the ATR 72. It's a slightly elongated version of that aircraft. And so just depending on the level of operations at a particular base dictates what type of operation or which aircraft we're going to use. So sometimes shorter legs and a lot of smaller cities utilize the Cessna Caravan, and then some of the longer legs and higher capacity operations require the ATR. Now, in addition to being a FedEx feeder, we also have a maintenance division, which is known as Empire Aerospace. So Empire Aerospace is responsible for performing the maintenance on all of our FedEx fleet, as well as performance of maintenance on aircraft for other companies as well. We turn passenger planes into cargo planes for companies from around the world. And then we also have an unmanned division, which is known as Empire Unmanned, and we provide a series of services there as well that include forestry, firefighting, mining, agriculture, infrastructure, and so on. Now, we have drones, but we also are specializing more in beyond line of sight UAS operations. Now, as it pertains to becoming a pilot at Empire Airlines, there are a whole number of reasons why you might pursue a position with our company. Ultimately, some of those things that need to be considered are the fact that we are on the cargo side of the industry. So coming out of COVID, it's pretty readily known that about 17,500 pilots were furloughed last year. That's a lot of people that went from the cockpit to delivering pizzas pretty much overnight. Now, on the cargo side of the industry, there were no furloughs, or virtually none, certainly none at FedEx or at Empire. So what that means is job stability. Now, in addition to that, we've got pay and benefits that vastly exceed the passenger side of the industry as well. So starting with us, you can make anywhere from $10,000 to $14,000 more than you would at one of the other passenger regionals. So outstanding benefits, pay and benefits. We also pay salary. We don't pay by flight hour. So you're not chasing flight hours to pay the bills. That salary gets you up to 18 days of flying per month. If you fly more than that, we also reimburse you at the rate of about $200 per month more. $200 per day more for each additional day of flying. Now, we also have great domiciles across the western half of the U.S. Now, I personally represent Empire Airlines. As I'd mentioned, there are 8 FedEx feeders across the country. 2 of those FedEx feeders offer both Part 135 and Part 121 operations. Empire being one of them on the western half of the U.S. On the eastern half is Mountain Air Cargo, and then there are 6 other FedEx feeders throughout the United States that offer 135 operations as well. We all work together as a team, and your eventual pursuit of the Purple Runway program, you can get on with any of the feeders and then transition to either Empire or Mountain Air Cargo, depending on what is best for you. We operate on a hub and spoke operations network, which makes us uniquely different from the passenger side of the industry as well. The reason being is that on the passenger side of the industry, you can expect to bounce around the country and spend 5 or 6 nights per week in a hotel. It's the opposite with us. So what that means is when we hire a pilot to one of our bases, that's where you live and work. And our operations are out and ins, essentially. So hub and spoke, you fly out, pick up cargo, you bring it back, and you sleep in your own bed every night or every day, depending on what shift you're on. And so what that offers is a great quality of life, great work-life balance, conducive to having a family, for example, something that is a little more challenging on the passenger side of the industry. Now, internally as well, I'd mentioned that we have 135 and 121 operations. You can come on as a 135 pilot flying our Cessna Caravan, which is an outstanding aircraft, extremely capable. It's single pilot. Our pilots spend 99% of the time in the IFR structure, the majority of that time in IMC. So we look for really strong single pilot IFR operators for that position. You can come in that direction and then transition to the ATR. We have kind of an internal flow to accommodate that, or you can hire on directly on our 121 side as an ATR first officer. Coming from UND, most likely you're eligible for a restricted ATP. So it means you can come in at lower minimums onto the 121 side. So that's probably the most expedient route if you're in your pursuit of eventually getting to FedEx. We offer I'll say that we're a smaller company, which means that we have great organizational culture. You're on a first name basis with everybody from the CEO on down. It's a family type of company, privately owned, just an outstanding company. Been partnered with FedEx for 34 years, and very fiscally sound. We have 0 debt, and it's just a well-managed, outstanding company to be a part of, and a great option whether you want to remain as a pilot in the regional airlines or your pursuit of FedEx. In which case, we have the Purple Runway program, outstanding program to get to FedEx. And the reason being is that as the premier air carrier in the industry, there are a lot of people pursuing FedEx, as you can imagine. So I like to say it's a little bit of a mosh pit. Maybe you're trying to bang on the front door seeking an interview at FedEx. What the Purple Runway offers is a path through the side door. We've got great information on our website at empireairlines.com. We've got a page dedicated to the Purple Runway program that I encourage you to check out. It has both eligibility requirements for getting into the program. It also has completion requirements as well in order to meet or to complete the program and to transition to an interview and a job with FedEx as a pilot. So. The way it works essentially is you come on as a pilot for us, after which time you're allowed to interview for the program or apply for the program. You have to have at least a 2-year degree with a 2.5 GPA or better, preferred 4-year degree coming from UND. That's pretty easy. So it's fairly easy to get in. Really, the bulk of the screening process is involved in the hiring. So the hiring, the process that you go through is the majority of what's required to get into the Purple Runway program and get started. And then from there, it has to go through the ATR. So if you choose to come in on Part 135 side, so the Cessna Caravan, you'd be required to transition to the ATR first officer and then to a captain. But you can also choose to come directly into the ATR first officer position, as I indicated before. And for most of you, that would be the most expedient route. And then you have to upgrade to captain and accrue 500 hours of PIC time in the ATR. So ultimately, the timeline varies. It's generally 3 to 5 years for completion of the program, depending on the applicant, how much experience they've got, and so forth, to complete the program. Now, our pilots not only have that job stability that I'd mentioned before, outstanding pay, significantly better than the pay on the passenger side of the industry, and the lifestyle, the quality of life that's outstanding. We also come with other benefits that you see on the passenger side, which is outstanding. We have the CAS privileges, which means jump seat privileges. So essentially, as a pilot, you can go down to the airport and in uniform, and you can move pretty much a jump seat with other airlines and move around very freely. It's outstanding. Known crew member privileges as well. This is a fast track through TSA. And we have flight privileges on other airlines as well that specifically for Empire includes Southwest, airlines: Alaska, Allegiant, Frontier, Hawaiian, and JetBlue. So that's travel benefits that apply not only to you, but any dependents you may have, as well as your parents get to take advantage of those travel benefits. So it's pretty neat. Now, the pilot qualification requirements vary depending on whether you're coming in as a 135 captain or an ATR first officer. So on the 135 side, we require a commercial single-engine land with instrument rating, 1,200 hours of total time, 800 hours of PIC, 500 hours of cross-country, 100 of night, 75 of IFR. Of course, you have to be IFR current and proficient and have a second-class medical. Now, as I mentioned before, the Cessna Caravan single pilot, they spend 99% of their time in the IFR structure. The majority of that time is in IMC. And so what that means is we're looking for strong instrument pilots for that position. If that's not something you're looking for, maybe you enjoy IFR, but you prefer a crew cockpit, and then I would encourage you to go directly to the ATR first officer position. Now the qualification requirements are listed there. However, ATP is required. Now, if you don't come, but you meet all the other pilot qualification requirements, we can get your ATP. But ATP with MEL rating, in the normal circumstances, 1,500 hours of total time is required. However, with a restricted ATP under a 4-year degree, brings that down to 1,000 hours. You're also required to have 250 hours of PIC, 50 hours of MEL, all requirements under Part 61, and of course be IFR current and proficient, and a second-class medical. First-class medical isn't required until you're an ATR captain. So that's a little bit about the pilot qualification requirements. Here's a little bit about the pay as well. So first year pay, I'd mentioned that the pay exceeds that of the passenger side of the industry. The Cessna Caravan in particular, on the 135 side, if that's the route you choose to pursue, comes in at about $13,000 to $14,000 more than you would start at one of the other regional airlines on the passenger side. And it tops out at 84.5 at the 20-year mark. On the 121 side, we have the ATR first officer. You come in at 54.1. It's about $9,000 to $10,000 more. And again, this is salary than you would have on the passenger side of the industry. This is doesn't account bonuses or anything else. This is the pay that you're going to be getting annually. And then when you upgrade to captain, it's a huge pay increase. You jump up to the mid-90s. Now, this slide indicates 92.7 as a starting pay for an ATR captain. In reality, you wouldn't make that because we pay you for the number of years flying the aircraft, not the number of years in a particular seat. So if you're in your third year when you upgrade to captain, it's 96.4, I believe. So you'd come in at year 3 on the captain's pay scale. So, and you'd have to work at one of the regional airlines for 12, 13, 14 years to make that kind of pay in your first year as a captain with us. So outstanding pay. And the reason we can offer that is because we're partnered with the premier air carrier in the industry. So an outstanding way to be able to pay the bills and then progress your career at your when you're ready. So in other words, the pay is not so tight as it is with many of the regional passenger side of the industry that you're compelled to pursue the majors as quickly as possible. Here we have a lot of longevity. People can stick around, pay the bills, and at a time that they're ready, go ahead and transition. Because we recognize a lot of people have families and other priorities within their lives as well that are important factors in consideration when they want to transition to the major airline. All right. Now, we talked a little bit about the Purple Runway program. It's still young, so it hasn't even lived its full life cycle yet. It's coming up on 3 years. The kind of beginning life cycle for it is 3 years. So far, we've had outstanding success in getting participants on to FedEx. I think about an 80% success rate, and for those, that 20% that didn't pass, new in the beginning. So you're not wasting your time with the program. There's a lot involved with the Purple Runway program. As I'd mentioned before, you apply once you have been hired by Empire or Mountain Air Cargo. Once you're accepted into the program, FedEx creates a profile for you that they review every 6 months. And at that point, you're flying FedEx aircraft. So you're flying the ATR or the Cessna Caravan, performing their operations on a daily basis, Purple Tail runway, working with the ground crews and everything else, conducting their operations. So they review your profile about every 6 months. So as you can imagine, it makes you kind of a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer for kind of an option in pursuing FedEx. Hands down, your best bid for success if FedEx is your ultimate goal in the major airlines. I encourage you to keep in touch with us. So you can go to empire-airlines.com. We've got a page dedicated to the Purple Runway program. So the information that was displayed today is there as well, as far as pilot qualification requirements and so forth. And you can call us. My name again is Josh Fraser. I'm the recruiter at Empire Airlines. If you call the number depicted on the screen and ask for the recruiter, they'll send you to me. So, and I'll be able to answer whatever questions you may have. Give you tips and kind of prepare you for the application process as well. So if you're getting close to your pilot qualification requirements, reach out to me a few months ahead of time, and I will try to steer you in the right direction and get you lined up for an interview and pursuing the Purple Runway program. So again, I appreciate the honor of being here at UND today. It was a pleasure speaking to all of you. I wish you the very best, and I hope to talk to you again soon.